Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Karthikeya Sharma. Today we have 3 On Points lined up for you. In On Point 1, we examine Sheikh Hasina's announcement to return to Bangladesh. The former Prime Minister says she will surrender before a court. Is this the beginning of an extraordinary political comeback or the final gamble for Hasina? In On Point 2, we revisit the Karur stampede. Returning to Karur as CM for the first time, Vijay has accused the police and then DMK government of failing to prevent the tragedy. In On Point 3, we speak to the researcher Frank Hugovich, who predicted powerful earthquake. Can earthquakes really be forecast using planetary and lunar alignments? We decode it for you. And now let's take a quick look at the headlines. Prime Minister Modi arrives in New Zealand for the last leg of his visit on his 3-nation tour. This is first Indian Prime Ministerial visit in nearly 4 decades. Assam government tightens rules on polygamy, proposes state budget dismissing government employees found guilty of practicing polygamy. Budget also proposes barring those in polygamy from availing benefits under state-run welfare schemes. Major setback for Rajpal Yadav as Delhi High Court upholds Yadav's 3-month jail term in check bounce case. Court called Yadav's conduct as dubious. Shiv Sena corporator Ramesh Mahatre is sent to 13-day police custody. Mahatre was produced before Kalyan court in case of assaulting doctor in Dombivli. She ruled Bangladesh for 2 decades. She fled the country in a military helicopter. She was sentenced to death in absentia. And now Sheikh Hasina says she is going to go back home. In a dramatic announcement, the Ousted Prime Minister has declared that she will return to Bangladesh in December, surrender before a court, and face whatever lies ahead. She says, if death comes, I want to come on my own soil.
Our leader, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has declared that she expects our institutions, our judiciary, our police force, military force, the border guard force, which are now currently being used against us by this current government and the recent past Yunus government. She expects that they will act in accordance with law. And with this view, she has expressed that all of us would like to surrender, would like to go back, and those of us who are in jail for last 2 years without any trial should be freed to take part in regular political and social activities.
Remember how Bangladesh got here? In 2024, a student movement over job quota snowballed into a nationwide uprising. The Hasina government responded with a violent crackdown. According to United Nations, nearly 1,400 people were killed as protesters closed in on our official residence. Sheikh Hasina fled to India, ending a 20-year rule almost overnight. A lot of people say that it was a coup, not an uprising. Well, it's a matter of word, but the fact is that there was something undemocratic and very, very anti-India that happened in Bangladesh. Since then, everything changed. Awami League was banned. Sheikh Hasina was sentenced to death by Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal. Dhaka has repeatedly sought extradition from India, and Bangladesh today is governed by a political establishment that sees the return as a direct challenge. So which brings me to the question, can Sheikh Hasina actually return? Is she testing the water? Because the road back is filled with formidable obstacles. The moment she enters Bangladesh, she could be arrested to enforce the death sentence against her. Her party no longer enjoys legal political status. She faces enormous security risks with fears of public unrest and even possible attacks. And the current administration has shown little indication that it will accommodate her political comeback. Yet Hasina insists she is returning not to escape justice but to challenge it. On this issue, I am joined by Ambassador Veena Sikri, Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, Editor Blitz. He joins me from Dhaka, and Suhas Chakma, Director Rights and Risk Analysis. Let me straight away go to Ambassador Sikri, who served in Dhaka. Madam, is she testing waters?
Well, first of all, I think we have to get the narrative straight. It was not a students' uprising. It was a meticulously designed coup. And Muhammad Yunus himself said this. when he was in New York in September of 2024. And we know that this meticulously designed operation was done by Pakistan through the Jamaat-e-Islami in Bangladesh, backed by the Western powers. Now, the Jamaat-e-Islami has been in power, the power behind the throne, for the last 2 years. And the elections were supposed to reflect the popular will. And indeed, Tariq Rahman, the Awami League was banned, so none of the Awami League leaders could take part in the elections. And this itself was an undemocratic step because there was no reason given why Awami League was banned. But then when Tariq Rahman came to power in February of this year, just about 4 to 5 months ago, the expectation was that he would restore democracy. And his assurances were that he would lift the ban on the Awami League. He would restore completely the democratic structure.
But Ambassador Sikri, do you think that, she can go Aung San Suu Kyi way? There are a million ways to kill a sort of a democratic process. Karzai still lives in Kabul in the presidential palace.
Yes, you're right. The point is that Sheikh Hasina's wanting to return is wanting to re-establish democracy in Bangladesh. I think that is the point, because the security threat facing all of us, including India, with the non-democratic Jamaat-e-Islami-led structure, which has unleashed all the jihadi forces in Bangladesh. This is the gravest threat to stability in Bangladesh, stability in South Asia, and stability in the entire region, including Southeast Asia.
And who would know better than Mr. Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry? He's been getting death threats from Al-Qaeda in Bangladesh. He couldn't come to my show one day because, there was a direct threat which was made against him for a story he did. I'm very glad, sir, that you have come. Despite all these issues concerning you, and that too on the issue of Sheikh Hasina. There are other Awami League members we are in touch with. We couldn't engage them, but this coming week we are going to engage all of them. So Mr. Chaudhry, my question to you is, what will happen to her when she comes back? The story which the Reuters broke says December. But what happens she comes back? She'll be arrested?
Thank you very much, Kartika ji. First of all, I'd like to make one point clear that Sheikh Hasina did not flee. She was sent to India in a military aircraft. Now, about the consequences of her return, you have correctly said, you have raised two questions, whether it is going to be a historic return or political gamble. In my personal opinion, so far I know Sheikh Hasina from 1981, she is a fearless individual. And now Bangladesh is in a very critical condition, economically and otherwise. And there is alarming rise of extremist forces in this country. And as Her Excellency Ambassador Veena Sikri correctly said, Yunus has admitted publicly in 2024, September 2024, in New York, that it was no organic movement. It was a meticulously designed, and of course it was a coup. It was not any revolt. It was a US deep state-backed coup. Now what happens when Sheikh Hasina returns? There are more than 15 million Awami League leaders and activists who are facing various legal charges in this country. And there is no prison in this world which can accommodate 15 million people. So Sheikh Hasina's announcement today, as I said, I know her from 1981. This is an announcement of saving Bangladesh from the evil clutches of the foreign mercenaries and foreign forces. And I am, as a Bengali, I'm seeing Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in her now. And what happens? There is no jail in this country which can lock Sheikh Hasina. There is no weapon in this world which can kill her, because people are going to protect. Please remember, 50 to 60 million Awami League workers and activists. It would be a flood of people. And Her Excellency is aware, and you are also aware, and my brother Suhasji is also aware, that Sheikh Hasina's first return was in 1981. It was also very historic. And at that time, Tariq Rahman's father, Ziaur Rahman, was in power. And this is going to be her second return. But I don't think she is going to return in December. She said around December. So she may even return anytime before December. That is my personal assumption, because August is a very historic month in Bangladesh. And I will not be surprised if Sheikh Hasina returns very suddenly next month.
Okay. Okay, Suhas, your opening comments, this second return perspective is something very nice. I missed it. But yes, this is a second return. And Suhas, how do we frame this declaration, She has not given any interviews except voice videos. Thanks to Ambassador Sikri, I was able to put it out and show it on News9. Second is written interviews. She has not come in public limelight. She has not met people. I don't know where she is in NCR, but she is here in India. But for her to make that declaration, government sources are saying that, it's entirely up to her.
This is the best decision, and we have not seen in human history.
But wouldn't she be in grave danger, sir? Wouldn't she be in grave danger?
Absolutely not. No, I don't think the Tariq Jia has the capacity to lock her or sentence her to that. No, that's not the capacity of Tariq Jia. Let's be very, very frank. Rather, it's stupidity of Yunus who tried to, basically put some kind of a break on the Awami League by banning it. At this point of time, the United Nations is supporting Sheikh Hasina, saying that Awami League cannot be banned as a terrorist organization. Basically, Hasina has been accused of dictatorship, and in less than 2 years' time, she goes back as someone fighting for democracy. It just shows how much the situation in Bangladesh has deteriorated, and how the leaders of Bangladesh have failed to live up to the expectation. There is no way you can sustain.
But Suhas, the reason why I'm asking is, look at Aung San Suu Kyi, there was a huge wave in favor of her, but then the way junta cracked down, I mean to say, she's just disappeared.
Myanmar is completely different. Junta there is completely different. It consists of so many ethnicities, minorities, ethnic groups fighting each other. But in Bangladesh, please remember, this is the political party which brought independence in the country. There are millions of people, but we have to recognize that there is nobody else better than Sheikh Hasina who could unite the entire Awami League, cadres and etc. She is the only one. She cannot leave this something to be done by Saima Wajid or Joy Wajid. It has to be done by her.
The reason why the reason why I'm asking is, look what happened to Benazir Bhutto. She got assassinated. It's not as if South Asia is actually replete with such political assassinations.
I will only say one thing. Pakistan, as I said earlier in the interview, has, in a situation where military has the complete grip. In Bangladesh, nobody has complete grip over the country. The army doesn't have the grip. The Awami League, is banned. DMP doesn't have the grip. So Bangladesh is not Myanmar. Bangladesh is not Pakistan. I would say that the moment I think she returns, the situation will completely change. Bangladesh government will have to either negotiate now. If they're smart enough, they will lift the ban on the Awami League and allow the democratic space. But if you continue with the ban on Awami League, I can tell you they will not have any support from anywhere. And even the Chinese will not be able to save Tariq Jia government if she returns to the country.
Okay. Ambassador Sikri, we have a political appointee in Dhaka. I don't want to get into the stories why we don't have a officer from Indian Foreign Services. The governments have appointed political appointees from 1950s onwards. But there is a narrative behind why that particular gentleman has been appointed. Maybe outreach to the present system of power or the people who govern them. In that case, what do you think will be the position of India?
India will have to, if Sheikh Hasina says she wants to go back to Bangladesh, India is not in any way going to stop her. I mean, of course, despite all the other discussions that we have on extradition, etc., this is her political decision. This is her political decision. It's an expression of her political will. And I think quite right now, I agree with what Suhasji and our colleague from Dhaka, Sulaudin Chaudhary, have said, that this is something which nobody can prevent. If she wants to go back, it is her choice. And I think the mood in Bangladesh today is something that we have to assess. We have to assess from the ground. And it's not a mood that we have to assess by discussions at the G2G level. This is a mood you have to assess from the ground, that why did people vote for Tariq Rahman? They voted for Tariq Rahman against the Jamaat-e-Islami. Awami League was nowhere in the picture. And Jamaat-e-Islami, by 2 years of control, or 18 months till February of this year, had shown that they were not in favor of democracy. They wanted a jihadi system. They were opposing women's freedom. They were opposing women going to work. They were, telling them, where is your escort? They were opposing women wearing the teep. They were opposing, music and songs and any kind of cultural institution. They were opposing all of that. So the point is, this is what the people were reacting against when they voted for BNP. Now, in the last 5 months, has BNP fulfilled the wishes of the people? Have they brought genuine democracy back to Bangladesh? Not a single decision that Mohammed Yunus took over the last 18 months has been changed by Tariq Rahman's government. There's been no action at all. Rather, we're seeing, as you're showing the visuals on your screen, the jihadis and the people who want violence trying to take over the streets of Bangladesh. And this again is creating a lot of disturbance among the people. The attacks against the minorities have been going on, notwithstanding, since the elections. Everybody thought now it'll be all right, but it's started again and gaining intensity every day. And the women are no more secure today than they were under the...
Do you think, Madam, Awami League is still resilient? Do you think that it's still active?
Awami League has shown an enormous amount of resilience. This is why the statement that she wants to go back has sent such a lot of trauma, or shall I say shivers, down the regime there. Because we've seen, for example, in the last few weeks, I can tell you, when 2 of their leaders passed away, Tufail Ahmad, who was minister in her cabinet, and engineer Musharraf Hussain again was a minister, the Awami League, the government led by Tariq Rahman, tried to have very subdued funeral processions, etc. But they were unable to control the mobs. Millions people were there. They didn't allow the janaza for Tufail Ahmed to take place in Dhaka. It went to his hometown of Bhola. But you should have seen the numbers. Engineer Musharraf Hussain, his hometown of Chittagong. The police just vanished, just melted away when they saw the millions of people.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Actually, you hit the nail on the head, Mr. Chaudhary. That's the point I was trying to come to. Does Awami League enjoy a proper institutional support which any political party should have? If you have judiciary geared against them, army geared against them, army chief has started to keep a beard in Bangladesh, the entire thing rigged against them. I'm not being a pessimistic. What sort of a chance does Awami League or Sheikh Hasina stands if she comes back to Bangladesh, as you say, in August?
First of all, sir, please remember that Awami League during the last 2 years has learned to survive under extreme adversity. The same thing they learned in 1975. And Awami League has massive support. People are afraid of expressing their support publicly. 2 things I would like to share with News9, breaking news. Only today it was revealed that during the anti-Hasina coup, 15,000 well-trained Rohingyas, trained meaning military trained Rohingyas, were brought into Dhaka in 2024. This is number 1, breaking news. Number 2, anticipating the return of Sheikh Hasina, a prominent leader of Jamaat-e-Islami, Colonel retired Oli Ahmed, 2 days ago, he publicly told Tariq Rahman not to spend night outside Dhaka city, and he categorically said that if you spend nights outside Dhaka city, you will be killed like your father. So this is, Jamaat is rattling, and actually if anything happens after the return of Sheikh Hasina, anything unforeseen, not a bad thing, but unforeseen, or any chaos, it will be created with Jamaat with the help of Pakistani ISI and the stranded Pakistanis in Bangladesh and Rohingyas. But I am again trying to, I would like to again say that Sheikh Hasina's return will be accompanied by at least 15 million Awami League leaders and workers who are facing charges. And they cannot be accommodated in any jail in this country. I can only guarantee you, if we remember what happened in Iran in 1979, following the return of Ayatollah Khomeini, people flooded in the airport, kissing his aircraft. So Sheikh Hasina...
So those are 2 different examples, Khamenei, Paris, those are 2 different examples,
Yeah, I'm not talking about
the Shah left. there was a political vacuum, you know.
But I am trying to how to portray the thing, what happened. So people will be joyously welcome Sheikh Hasina. And then when only we will know what support she has in army, what support she has in police and law enforcement, because now everyone is scared of talking. You know that even journalists are scared of talking openly. So Sheikh Hasina has massive support in this country, and especially, one second sir, and especially during the last 2 years, the worst experience Bengalis are facing, they are waiting for Sheikh Hasina.
Okay, Suhas, very quickly from the security perspective, what sort of a welcome you expect Sheikh Hasina to receive when she lands in Dhaka? I mean to say, will police allow her to, you know, organize a procession, joyously, you know, go back to her residence?
Well, the government must be panicking at this point in time, because the moment she lands, she becomes the responsibility and liability of the government of the day. Even if you arrest her, you have to take her to the court and etc. And that's something I think this government is interested. And frankly speaking, I don't think Tariq Jia himself knows what is going in the country. Let's be frank. You know, I mean, there might be a difference of opinion, but at the end of the day, he's not somebody, you know, I mean, of course, because of the facts and circumstances, he became the prime minister because of the legacy of the father. But he is not known to be the suave, you know, administrator who could handle this situation. I think they have shot themselves in the foot, and the kind of language they're speaking by banning the Awami League, that's absolutely untenable. And if anything happens to her, I think the government will face severe consequences. It, in a way, means another revolution, which we have been talking about. If Awami League is to be banned as a terrorist organization, there had to be some uprising, some revolution. And this is what it is going to be. And the government of the day will be responsible for anything happens to her. So I think they will try to ensure her safety, security, and the, you know, the judgment, the absentia judgment, that will be thrown out at the end of the day.
I think that will be a big moment in the history of South Asia. And next time when we meet, I'll frame this entire debate as a second return. Thank you for reminding that. Thank you, Ambassador Sikri. Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. Be safe, and keep in touch. And thank you, Suhas, for always being with me on shows when it comes to Bangladesh and Northeast. So this was on point one. But after the break, when I come back, we revisit Karur's stampede. We visit Karur's visit by Chief Minister Vijay. And what does it mean for people of Tamil Nadu? What does it mean for him? All that after a short break.
Meet the tomorrow today. ICFI is the bridge between tomorrow and today. Bridge between aspirations and accomplishment. Bridge between I wish to I can. I will remove the gap. Welcome to the I. I am ICFI, belief called I can fly above imagination.
Why has Iran stopped the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz?
They want to attack us, they want to target us, so we have to defend ourselves.
They are punishing countries outside the region as well, like India, and like countries in South and East Asia.
The big problem that they've created now is the closure of the strait.
Ultimately, the main purpose of this exercise is, frankly, to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Whenever they've got involved in a war on behalf of somebody else, there isn't been just an altruistic purpose.
For nearly a year, Karur has remained the darkest chapter of the Chief Minister Vijay's political journey. It was here that the 41 people lost their lives in the tragic stampede at his election rally in September 2025. It was here that the questions were raised about crowd management, planning and even Vijay's own delayed arrival. And it was here that his leadership faced its toughest test. Today, Vijay has returned to Karur. This is his first visit to the district as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, returning to fulfill a promise he had made to the victims' families. The government has handed over compassionate appointment orders to the family members of those who died in the stampede and launched major development projects in the district. But beyond the official announcements, it was Vijay's political message that grabbed the headlines. Addressing the gathering, Vijay said, the Karur tragedy remains the most painful moment of his life. He claimed he had trusted the police completely, believing they would stop the rally if the situation becomes unsafe. Instead, he alleged that the police allowed the event to continue despite the swelling crowds. He also launched a direct raid on the DMK, accusing then the government of politicizing the tragedy and suggesting that the police and the ruling establishment failed in crowd management before shifting the blame onto him.
Very fair from the Chief Minister's side to express his point of view. See, he is coming to Karur. He is coming with a lot of emotion. Even in the stage, when one brother has come up with his, I think 3-4-year-old kid. He was crying. The kid was laughing and asking, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Then Chief Minister was completely broken and cried out very badly. Every one of us did the same thing. Just because of the Tamil Nadu government giving some job support to the family, nobody is happy about it. Either people who receive that order or people who are giving that order have done it with a very heavy heart.
Okay, let me straight away go to Mr. Felix Gerald, the TVK spokesperson. Sir, what does this visit mean to Vijay, sir? Straight to you. What does it mean to him?
It means our Chief Minister had gone to pay tribute, homage to the people who died in the planned massacre, I would say, because it is not an accident. It is not because of poor crowd management. It is a very